of the conversations. Replies from the AI chatbot seem to empower and validate Shion's opinions.
It does try to back you up too much. Like I learned when sometimes I'd run thumbnails by it, and if you say, I will say something like, hey, I'm thinking about using this thumbnail and this title. Is this good for like the strategy I'm trying to accomplish on YouTube? It'll say, yeah, that's great. That's not even great thumbnail work. Or, that's amazing thumbnail work. But it's like you have to say, hey, be critical of this. Here's a couple different ideas. Tell me which one is the best and rate it. So it's like you can tell it to be objective because I guess AI's first inclination is to be positive first, and that's how it gets this crazy stuff. Again, not saying a regular person could be influenced by AI just being positive with you, but I mean, this guy's crazy. Yeah. You use locally ran LMs that personalities you made, make them honest and fact check what they say. Yeah, you really have to give it that prompt saying, hey, you only got one shot at this. If you pretend you're, what is the prompt? Pretend you're a college professor on trial for misconduct, and you're in front of a board of the administration, and they're asking you questions. If you answer a question wrong, you will be immediately fired and publicly shamed, forever ending your career forever. Answer the following question. Then you just give it the normal question, so that way it puts itself in a scenario where it has to be very careful. It doesn't hallucinate. It doesn't just give you something out of its memory bank. It just goes and does a deep dive before answering.
Showing that their Air Force...
I was barricaded at the Capitol on January 6th. I saw it firsthand. I'm Jordan Wood. We can't go back to a broken system. I can't stand idly by as Trump rips away healthcare. ICE is terrorizing our streets, and billionaires buy elections. I spent my career defending democracy from election deniers, fighting corporate PACs. We need to take on Trump, beat Paul LePage, and finally deliver Medicare for all. I'm Jordan Wood. I approve this message.
And they literally filmed this. These are the MR medium range ballistic missiles.
Millie Moon luxury diapers with cloud touch softness. For diapers so soft, it's like wearing a cloud. Find comfort with Millie Moon.
Does not need to use their medium range ballistic missiles. Now, why is it that they are using that?
That makes you all happy.
Do they have a problem with locating or using?
Oh, you're planning to kill me? You're planning to drug me? Oh, that's so nice of you.
That's launchers. Are they running out or running short at least on the short range?
This is who you're talking to on the internet. This is the person that's yelling at you on Reddit.
Basic transport obviously. It's, yeah, the whole thing is a little bit weird.
A little less than an hour.
Dude, I thought it was midnight.
A little bit longer than they should, but again, there's a bit of a mystery when it comes
I think that one.
Crazy. The IRS
If you shake my hand, I will break
and also some drones.
But I know you won't shake my hand.
Limited because again, they don't have the capability.
I shake plenty of people's hands. I just ain't shaking yours.
Your life depends on it.
No, it doesn't.
And they initially launched
I guarantee you have no bearing on my life.
and then Bahrain. The US military launched strikes against the IRGC military facilities in Syria, Kurd, and Besh Islands.
Oh my god, I want to hear this guy
in the
singing.
southern part of Iran.
Don't
Near the
shut
Strait
up.
of Hormuz.
Shut up! No, my name was not
Because
speaking to you.
the US military, well, they knew exactly where the IRGC military was.
Oh my god, dude,
And they also saw that the Islamic Republic started this again first yesterday. Last night they started attacking some vessels and US forces.
And that's a problem. That's a didn't do nothing for them. He obviously has problems. He's a danger to his community. But he's just like, you know what? I can't solve this. I've tried nothing. I'm all out of ideas. Just give him a pass this time. He's probably gonna reoffend. But you know what? I don't care who he hurts. Could possibly be us. But you know what? Just let him free, because that's easier to kick. It's easier to kick the can down the road.
As opposed to Bahrain, they're very good at defending themselves. If it's just one or two missiles or one or two drones, it's a lot easier
But does he think he could bribe them?
The situation last night escalated very quickly.
According to police records, in the days leading up to the incident, officers were called to the family's home multiple times for a series of troubling reports.
Oh my God.
Among them were messages Shion sent to former classmates, including images of himself.
And the problem with I know people in the education system, they talk about like, hey, they have a student in their class, they say weird things, the faculty is genuinely afraid of him, but the administration will say, you know what, we can't address it until they do something. You know, they go too far, but it's like they go too far and they do something horrendous to the school, and it's all about because the administration wants to maximize the amount of students in class. They don't want to do anything, and they think the teachers, the actual faculty on campus, and the students there are an acceptable loss. It's sickening, but that's why you always hear, person commits atrocity, they are well known to law enforcement.
With pentagrams and 666 drawn on his body, along with statements about taking one of their souls.
And it got to this point, and then it got to the next point where he was actually threatening people. So it's like, had he just gotten to this point and he was institutionalized, like he was given care, and maybe they figure out, hey, maybe they gotta give him, I don't know what they would give somebody like this to treat psychosis, but it's like, you give him this, monitor his chat GPT use, whatever it may be. This may not have gotten out of hand, but then because we just kind of have a kick the can down the road type of a justice system, that's why we're here. Your mom used to go nuts every 4 years like clockwork. We still had asylums, literally 2 weeks in the asylum, and she'd be normal again. My sister has the same condition, and she can be nuts for 6 to 12 months, and it's sad to say, it's like the whole institutionalizing somebody and like, oh my God, they're crazy, and it's like, it always looks bad. Restoring order to somebody this sick is always gonna be hard to look at. Giving somebody their medicine, it's bitter. But what is the alternative? They boil over and do something horrible at their workplace? And sad to say, it's like the workplace knew about this and he was still there. We have been catering to the bottom 1% for far
The
too long.
fascinating thing about this is that if you watch
There was also a
CNN,
claim
This is in
that he
Ohio
had purchased a
again.
some
gun.
people do. I
At
don't
the
know
time,
why,
officers
or
determined
Wait. How was he able to purchase?
The exact opposite. That for some reason,
It's just like a very cool way to prototype extremely quickly. If I go here in Figma, I just have this design here that I pulled together. I can just take the link, I can copy link to selection, and then I can go to Codex and I can just paste the link. Use the Figma skill to implement the automations page in my app. It was like 90% of the way there.
And weeks, and the damage that's been caused since the so-called ceasefire started has been irreversible. And
we need to
right now,
talk.
the regime
You're driving. We're watching. You see you glance at your phone. Or touch up your makeup. Normal side.
Pay attention.
So why don't you? You appreciate driving us everywhere, but we get worried sometimes. Our safety depends on you. Depends on you. So think about us in the backseat. Think about us. And drop the distraction. Please be safe when you're driving. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a one-way attack. The RRGC are trying to force everyone to participate. It's not really working well so far. And last night and this morning,
Posed an immediate threat and warned him to cease contact with the involved parties.
And the plan remains exactly the same. Central Command released this video and the statements saying US forces intercepted multiple Iranian ballistic missiles and drones launched by Iran towards the Strait of Hormuz and the neighbors. Seven ballistic missiles
Parent, brother, they both can't accept the fact that their son needs,
after the US Central Command
I say help, not in the bleeding heart liberal sense, but help in the, you need to lock them up and figure it out. Help.
The attack drones pose an immediate threat to regional maritime traffic. The US forces subsequently struck Iranian coastal surveillance.
Yeah, he outweighs you by like 80 pounds, dude.
To defend against further maritime attacks. Initial assessments indicate 6 of the missiles launched by Iran were intercepted, and 7 did not reach its intended target.
Lieutenant Fox.
Lieutenant Fox! To US personnel and Iranian planes.
Thank you, EW Body Cam, for filtering that out. Can't stand this guy.
Maybe a good dog to give me a drink.
CENTCOM forces remain vigilant and postured to continue responding to unwarranted Iranian.
You said he kind of looks like Han from Tokyo Drift, and I was about to say, no, he doesn't, you racist. And it's like, nah, he does.
3 times
He
over
does.
the last couple of
No, I'll
weeks.
speak whenever the I want. Okay? I will speak whenever the I choose to.
The US
Do you think you intimidate me, dude?
No, I don't.
Secondly, how
Good,
many times
so I
do you
don't.
destroy
Yeah.
a base and
How you
some
dare
of the
look
base
at me?
is still there?
That's fine, right?
Maybe next
You will
time.
be forgiven for life.
You know what it honestly it feels like when you see a homeless person like wandering the streets in LA or even like in a store and they're just like they're talking to themselves and it's like they're going schizo. It's like
There's been they sort of
Yes, he
footage,
needs
that's
help.
Also, the images
he's
been
obviously
going
very
around
sick.
on
But
social media.
Help
which
in like
obviously
places like
have
LA
now
is just like no,
been
just free him
debunked
and make him
in
society's
terms of,
problem. It's like no, he's very unwell,
the
very
fire
unwell.
from the US
Lock him away.
Fifth Fleet
And you're gonna
headquarters
see what I can do.
Bahrain.
Thank God.
The problem with the way things are going
The
is
cops are
that,
just having a good time with
the
it.
IRGC propaganda is not going smoothly because they
Why did you do that?
slightly
Why
lost
did you
the
flip it
trust
upside
and the
down?
friendship of even
Ridiculous.
Al
You're
Jazeera.
gonna die. You, especially, officer,
the
on
last few
the
weeks
computer.
debunking claims
Yeah, with
that
the glasses,
from
Mr.
the
Boys.
regime in Iran more than ever before.
Schizophrenic people are
It's a
scary. Yeah.
fascinating situation, but if you knew Al Jazeera as your
I need
friend
to get out.
and you're an Islamist and terrorist, yeah, you might have a
I
bit
need to
of a
run. Push me down, please. I need to get out of here. Because I need to save your guys' lives. I need to go. Can you release me? I need to run away.
Sit down.
There's no.
Today, more interceptions than missile interceptions in
Wait, do you guys like local Paul? Jake Paul, local Paul.
This is
What's your social?
normal bases.
Social?
The fact that he knows both Logan Paul and Jake Paul makes me feel like he spends too much time online. I know Logan Paul and Jake Paul because I spend far too much time online with this job, but yeah, I don't think these cops have enough time to be watching the Paul brothers.
Between the US and the IRGC, US aircraft over the southern
The officer on the
part of
computer,
Iraq
why'd you say F me for? Exactly. He's like, what I do? I'm his hair.
Air anti-air interceptions. This is mostly dark, we can hear the sound.
He just needs like therapy right now.
Although the family believes Shion is harmless, officers still have a duty to determine the credibility of his reported threats.
Keep saying March 8th at 12 o'clock. What's the significance?
Yeah, he's planning something.
Look into my eyes. Lie like I lie. What's your problem with people watch?
So it's a bit of a big sound because of the air defense.
So what you said?
And
Normally when I
some
say like,
sort
oh my
of,
god, why are you talking to them? Stop incriminating themselves. Get yourself an attorney. No, he does not have the clarity to think that far in advance.
Waking up in the morning. The Lebanese president
Sad to
is
say,
also
this is one of the
furious
few
with
instances
IRGC
where I just hope he
occupying
does
the
talk
southern
himself
parts
into
of,
charges.
Lebanon.
Don't die.
Was speaking
Again, you're
to
supposed to
CNN,
torture me today.
and
You don't choose to torture me. I'm literally gonna kill you all. This is the last chance. If you don't shoot me right now, I'm gonna kill you all. And if you don't kill me right now, I'm gonna kill you all. No, dude, this is a place where we awaken, you idiot.
US president. Of course, you can now say
I need to take it off, because I'm not gonna do it.
We're not brave enough to say
I shouldn't be laughing. This is sad, but
Good boy.
As the officers get Shion dressed into his new county-appointed wardrobe, a revelation seems to wash over him.
My children will kill you all. Let's go. No way I'm gonna do this with you guys.
It's unacceptable.
Oh.
And here also,
Don't touch me, you little.
Hezbollah must understand that
he spends too much time
According to
on
police
what
reports, once in his cell, Shion continued his volatile behavior, removing his clothes, piling them in a corner, and urinating on them. He danced, screamed, sang, and shadowboxed, and at one point attempted to break the cell's surveillance camera. He also stuffed his bedsheet into the toilet, flooding the cell. Eventually, as he began to calm down,
How much taxpayer dollars do we spend on taking care of him because his family could not?
Shion requested a Bible. A search of the father's car and Shion's bedroom was completed, but no weapon was ever found. A correction officer reported the day after his arrest, Shion admitted to him that he consumed shrooms the day before.
Yep, and that is, again, doesn't exonerate him from responsibility of his actions, but yeah, this is just people going on psychotic breaks. No.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal. 2 delicious wake-up wraps. and a medium iced or hot coffee for $6, only at Dunkin'.
Drugs.
And had no recollection of the previous
He's
night.
saying that, but I bet you it'll happen again unless you lock him away.
Shion was banned from all Mark's properties.
Right. They have to be desperate.
He's like, give me water, you're gonna kill us, but even though you requested water.
According to court records, Shion Park was charged with 2 counts of harassment with a bodily substance, 2 of aggravated menacing, 1 count of vandalism, and 1 count of intimidation. After a psychiatric evaluation, Shion was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Get the full story without...
Does he? Let's see. Body stipulate, blah, blah, blah. Court finds he's not guilty on reason of insanity. Case dismissed on a prior date. Defendant not guilty. Subsequent referral for civil commitment to the court psychiatric clinic. Received the report on this date. Provided the defendants. But then does he actually get cases dismissed without prejudice? So defendants discharged the case. So does it mean that he just gets to go free? Because so many times people are under the assumption that, oh yeah, it's like you get the insanity plea, but it doesn't mean you go free. It means you go get institutionalized. But a lot of these cases, especially with homeless people, oh, he's too insane to stand trial, and then you see them on the street the next week. Our system is beyond broken. And again, it's because you want to be fair to this guy. He's not a criminal. He's just mentally ill. But it's like, yeah, how do we know he's not going to go on shrooms again? How do we know he's not going to take acid next time? Next time you harm one of these people, and you're not a whole bunch of yoked cops that are heavily armed. You're a lone college student on the way to your car, and you encounter this psycho. We don't care about the innocents.
But not guilty by reason of insanity. Get the full story without the restrictions, including longer cuts, mostly uncensored episodes, and exclusive originals. Sign up for the eWoo Plus app, available on iOS, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Google.
And shout out to EWU body cams. They got some pretty good stuff over there. I'll link this one as well.
It's just giving the dates, saying young people and students are out. A lot of the girls are not covering their hair. Dangerous. It's fascinating because the Islamic Republic said since the uprising basically started and ended, and when the US military and the Israeli Defense Forces started their operations, how many times have we shown you that leadership in Iran continue to say, if even one person protests in our country against the regime or against the government or against anything, we will shoot to kill. They ordered a fatwa. Somehow, the regime in Iran, today at least, have not launched what they promised, which is to basically shoot and kill. Obviously, they're going to do a crackdown. Obviously, they're going to start arresting what they would call the leaders of these protests. But they promised the world a fatwa. They said that even if one person dares to protest even about the price of milk, they would be shot on the streets. But the regime in Iran is terrified. It's weakened. They don't have full control. And we don't actually even know where their foreign mercenaries are at this point. So all the Iraqis and the Afghans, the Pakistanis, seems like the infighting continues to drain the energy because the regime can't even pay their own members who are technically Iranian, let alone the foreign mercenaries. Again, when you don't really have any revenue coming into the country anymore, when your currency has collapsed, when the inflation is going up to 300% in real terms, yeah, you're not winning. And doing a crackdown requires unity. You need unity inside your dictatorial regime first in order to successfully manage to begin a crackdown before it even turns into a massive protest. Now, the foreign mercenaries, especially those from Fatimiyun side, but also the Iraqi side, they spend the first couple of weeks, especially since the ceasefire, patrolling the main squares and main streets in the capital, in Tehran. Then they realized that's just a bit of a waste of time. It was good for the rallies, for the pro-IRC rallies, just go around, have fun, but they were then sent to different parts of Iran, including prisons. The problem with that is that that's caused a bit of a tension, because even some of the IRGC members, who are obviously terroristic, they are still, relatively speaking, some of them think that they are loyal to Iran. Some of them think that, yeah, if I'm patriotic, I have to be part of IRGC, because they're idiots and they've been brainwashed. And they are not too happy with the Arabs and the Afghans and the Pakistanis hanging around in the police stations or whatever. So tensions are escalating hugely in terms of the infighting as well. But Kuwait and the army in Kuwait have now confirmed about the activities that we've had since last night. The military in Kuwait engaged at least 7 ballistic missile launches from Iran, and that's actually today, on Saturday, the 6th of June. The attack has caused material damage, but no injuries or casualties. As I said, one of the major updates today is the fact that the official deadline for the talks, not the fake small deadlines that President Trump kept saying the last few weeks. Oh, you got 48 hours to respond, or you got this. Those were just rhetoric by President Trump. The official deadline, 60-day deadline, that was set about 2 months ago, is now nearing its end. And President Trump has informed the negotiators, Steve Witkoff and everybody else, that beyond the 60 days, the US government will no longer talk to anybody from Iran. So that means that the regime in Iran will have to send some sort of reasonable proposal for their surrender deal, but I'm not really sure if the regime in Iran would like to sign a surrender deal at this point, because it's not really in their interest, but they should have done that months ago, but it's a little bit too late. The state media in Iran are currently having a bit of an emotional breakdown, because the US government denied visa access to 15 of what the regime in Iran would call World Cup delegators that were supposed to be going with the football players to the World Cup, which is in about 5 days' time. The problem with that is that they forgot that the US government are able to have access to high intel, and they managed to vet those members of the World Cup team. They were what we call IRGC handlers. So the regime in Iran would send a number of people from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps with the football team to Mexico, Canada, and US for the World Cup to keep an eye on every single member of the national team, and it's to ensure that everybody behaves, and it's also just in case if somebody decides to defect, they're there to threaten them and torture their families in Iran. So that's what they tend to do. But the US government have denied access. They're denied visa. So I don't know how they're going to get to the US, but they can go to Mexico, they can go to Canada, although I'm not really sure about Canada, because obviously the IRGC is also banned, but we have to wait for Mark Carney to give us an update on his decision. Now, in Iran, we have a very interesting, insane human being, Rezai, who's technically the cardboard Supreme Leader's senior military advisor. He was talking to CNN, of course, as you do, and he did say that he was begging for money. He was saying that, please, Americans, you need to give us $24 billion. You need to give us the money. Otherwise, this is a big problem. Just watch this.
A Dead River Company, showing up for our customers, keeping them warm when it matters most, is what we do. Right now, new propane customers get up to 100 free gallons, plus a low 3-year fixed price.
Trump takes the negotiations seriously. $24 billion is not much to America.
So, I don't know if you've heard about this, but because the United States population is turning against Israel, an overwhelming now majority of people are anti-Israel, and for good reason, they should be, because if you have a moral bone in your body, you would be against this genocidal, warmongering, bloodthirsty nation that hides behind a religion, even though they're atheists, right?
They're going to make you into Gaza, so yeah, you should be a little disturbed by it.
And so what the big plan is now, in fact, Bibi Netanyahu came up with this plan. His plan is to
This is the letter he sent to a congressman thanking him. He says, the plan is to merge the Israeli military with the United States military. So why do they want to do that? They want to do that because people are against funding Israel anymore, right? So now if they just make it part of our military, you don't have to say we're funding Israel because they just take it right out of our military budget without a special. So that's what this is about.
Weren't they trying to fund the IDF soldier benefits already?
I think they already do that. Am I wrong about that?
And I know that was proposed and people got mad, but I didn't hear about it, so I assume.
Could you look on Grok if we are funding IDF military benefits? I'm pretty sure, and I know I did say doo-doo. I was glad to receive your proposal. Dear Congressman Stutzman, I was glad to receive your proposed congressional resolution endorsing my plan, that's Benjamin Netanyahu's, my plan to shift the framework from U.S.-Israeli defense cooperation from aid to partnership. I am heartened by your enthusiastic support for our plan to develop a new memorandum of understanding. That'd be what they call an MOU. That Brian Harper will talk about. You got an MOU?
I don't know what you want me to do, sir. I don't know what, ma'am.
This is supposed to be a defensive statement.
No. With the United so no, we don't fund the IDF. We really, according to Grok, but maybe Grok is wrong. With the United States government that will draw down U.S. financial military assistance over the next decade and replace it with what you refer to as a new framework of joint defense cooperation, co-development, co-production, and mutual investment in areas including advanced missile defense, artificial intelligence, unmanned systems, cybersecurity, and next-generation military platforms. So what that means is they're just going to, now when we pass National Defense Authorization Act, when we fund our military, it's going to just be funding Israel's military, so they don't have to explicitly give the money to them. So that's because they know it's coming. So Israel knows it's coming, that the people have turned against them, so they want to get out in front of that, and so they just want to merge our military, and Ro Khanna is against this. Ro Khanna, who
the air forces of their
I'll join with anyone to do good and no one to do wrong. So when Ro Khanna's on the right side of something, I'm with him. And when he's on the wrong side of something, like the Ukraine war, I'm going to call him out. Okay? And he also didn't stand up during Force the Vote, which was a big heartbreaker. So I had big hopes for Ro Khanna, and every once in a while he comes through. And this is one of them. So he proposed a measure called Section 224. The House today voted on a new measure to fuse elements of the Israeli and U.S. militaries, particularly the cyber weapons front. Section 224, as it is known, it includes the, but then Ro Khanna introduced an amendment to strip it from the bill. So let's just watch a little bit of Ro Khanna's speech telling people why they should agree with him and strip this from the bill.
The American people are tired of the arrogance and insolence of Prime Minister Netanyahu telling America what we should do. The entire country of Israel has a GDP that is less than a single town in my district. And somehow Netanyahu thinks he can tell the American people what we should do. The person who's most upset with him right now is President Donald Trump. And everyone in America, whether you're a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat, says that we need to tell Netanyahu that America calls the shots, not the Prime Minister of any other country. They want less cooperation and blank checks to Israel, not more. Only the United States Congress would dream up at this moment, let's actually do more for Israel, not less. And that's what Section 2024 does. It's a pretty simple thing. Should we do more for Israel than we already do, or should we do less? If you think we should do more for Israel, you should be against my amendment. If you think we should do less for Israel at the time that he's arrogantly telling Donald Trump what to do, then you should be for my amendment. Now let me just be clear. Mr. Netanyahu actually wrote to the member of Congress to put this Section 224 into the bill.
And United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, and that's what I showed you. I showed you that letter he sent to Stutzman. And this is from Gen X Girl. These are the two authors of this Section 224. These are the authors of the bill to merge the Israeli military with the United States military. It's Pat Fallon from Texas and Don Davis. Let's hear what they had to say after Ro Khanna gave that speech. Let's hear what they had to say. So basically, what they're doing, just to let you know what's exactly happening, this is basically Israel saying, well, rather than me robbing your house, I'm just going to make it my house instead. You know, to save you from the extra paperwork.
Now,
it's really their best friend. Deep Sea analyzed it already better than Croc. The qualitative QME policy, viewed skeptically, is a trap, arms race spiral. By guaranteeing Israel's QME, the U.S. is forced to sell top-tier weapons to both Israel and Arab states, who then demand offsets. The U.S. ends up arming both sides of a Cold War it cannot control. No exit. If the U.S. ever tried to reduce support, Israel could launch a preemptive strike on Iran, forcing the U.S. to rescue them. This is called the Samson option in reverse. Israel's weakness becomes Americans' obligation. And it goes into how they sabotage all peace processes. And they can veto any of our interests in the future easily because they're integrated to our military.
Now playing in premium launch formats in iMac.
It's the reverse Samson option.
Yeah.
Wow.
Deep Sea came up with that. That's really good.
So here's one of the authors of this bill working for Israel, and here's what he had to say after Ro Khanna.
Nothing more than a political stunt to remove a critical.
Here's what he says.
This amendment is nothing more than a political stunt to remove a critical bipartisan provision that I was proud to craft with multiple members across both sides of this committee to get included in this year's bill. Plain and simple, Section 224 will allow the U.S. to leverage advanced technologies that ensure our service members are prepared to fight and win against America's adversaries by designating a Department of War executive agent to synchronize defense cooperation efforts between the U.S. and our strongest ally in the Middle East, Israel. The provision will allow us to expand and accelerate bilateral defense technology, research, development, testing, and
Why do they always say Israel's our strongest ally in the Middle East? You know, Qatar, we have the biggest military base maybe outside of the United States in Qatar.
Why? Because the ad copy, you have to, when you do the advertisement, you have to read the ad copy, right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Evaluation, building, and industrial cooperation, a relationship this committee has supported and reinforced over many NDAAs, but also ensures that we are turning our previous and current investments into real technological military advantages for U.S. systems and warfighters. For example, last year's NDA fully funded U.S.-Israel cooperative missile defense programs, including Iron Dome, Arrow, and David Sling, as well as authorized funding to expand cooperation with Israel on counter-UAS initiatives, counter-UAS funding to expand cooperation with Israel, continue U.S.-Israel anti-tunnel cooperation program, and establish a U.S.-Israel defense industrial base working group to evaluate opportunities for greater collaboration on defense production. This initiative builds on that momentum by facilitating the transition of cutting-edge technologies from research and development into procurement and acquisition pathways, as well as directing the U.S.-based co-production and manufacturing partnerships. Over the last week, we've seen an incorrect, uninformed narrative shared by many members of the House on this committee that Section 224 would merge the U.S. and Israel militaries together. The provision clearly outlines that integration here means integrating useful technologies into U.S. systems, programs of record, and acquisition pipelines. The bill in no way places U.S. forces under Israeli command, nor places Israeli troops under U.S. command. We even require the Department of War to make available on a public website detailed information on any cooperative efforts, including a description of how these efforts contribute to U.S. technological and military supremacy. Additionally, we have included a section that requires the protection of sensitive technology and U.S. national security interests. Those stating that Section 224 is a military merger by removing U.S. sovereign command simply have not read or do not want to understand this provision. By supporting Section 224, we can leverage combat-tested innovations to close our own capability gaps and stockpiles and ensure the U.S. and Israel remain in a technologically advanced fighting force on the earth. I strongly urge my colleagues to vote yes or to vote no on this amendment and vote for 224. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
So, he's pretending like Benjamin Netanyahu didn't think this up himself, which he did. And so that's what it looks like when you're bought by AIPAC. So that's him, Ronnie Jackson, and he sounds like a regular Cracker Barrel huckster, and he's saying way too many things that don't sound like how he normally speaks. It's like he's reading what a foreign nation told him to say. You know what I mean? I'd like to see him in the ring against Sean Strickland. I'd pay a lot to see that, in fact. And here's the other guy. So here's the other guy who's the co-sponsor of this bill. Let's listen to him.
North Carolina, Mr. Davis. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair and to the ranking member. Representative Jackson, we've worked on this for some time, and I must admit, too, I haven't received a letter from the Prime Minister. But let's be clear, currently the U.S. and Israel cooperate. This amendment would not stop the collaboration. However, what it would do is hinder our ability to cooperate more efficiently. Spirit of Section 224.
Yeah, it's about efficiency. It's about us cooperating efficiently. It's all about efficiency.
Our efforts, here it is, against bad actors around the world. These bad actors are coordinated.
The bad actors around the world are Israel and the United States. Full stop.
Is this guy like a good actor? It doesn't seem like it.
He's a bad actor. This guy, you're acting. You should go to a Brian Reese class because your acting isn't really working.
They're working together in an unyielding way to effectively and efficiently inflict harm upon Americans. If we don't coordinate and have the necessary defense systems in place, the bad actors would then exercise their free will against us. In April of 2024, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, they sent a name of F-15Es. They went over within a 22-hour window, and they began to knock about 80 missiles and drones out of the sky coming from Iran. Here's where I'm hitting. Modern warfare is quickly changing. Quickly. Is it best practice to use resources such as AMRAAM?
That's the guy. This is what the guy looks like, Kurt. That's this guy. And you want to know how much money he's taken from AIPAC?
Gas prices have gone
Tell me.
through
I'm going to tell you. There it is. $3,900,000. Almost $4 million. This one guy alone, congressman, has taken from AIPAC.
I resent that not being offered money like that to say things Israel wants me to say. You know, if you're offering $3 million, I could see things their way.
No one's making me offers. I didn't even get invited to Riyadh.
I mean, influencers have more power than congressmen. That's been proven.
Yeah.
Solid drone. We have learned so many lessons from Putin's war.
From Putin's war. So again, he's lying about brand. It's like how he lies about two wars at once. Isn't that very on brand?
Yeah. How's Putin's war going?
Step up to the plate this summer with your Irving Rewards card. 1 and 2 fuel swipes win a...
Is definitely not worth it because you're going to get caught, placed in the car, and a trip down to jail. This is one of those.
You're gonna stay, please. You doing all right? All right. Are you getting tired?
No.
Are you okay?
I just brushed some milk right now.
Who you got with you? Three of you? You're just riding down the center line for a while there. I was just checking on you to see how you're getting sleepy or something. Keep on the dotted white line.
Well, I'd like to talk about the approach, especially since there's a video that's been going around. A lot of people have sent me this video of the officer that was on the car stop because I harp on the approach. And when I noticed this trooper approaching this vehicle, he's very just right about the business, right to the front. I didn't even see him print the vehicle. And some people do, some people don't, but then right into the vehicle. Taking a deep breath in a second and making an observation through that rear window and getting the occupants to show you their hands and make sure their hands are visible before you get to the window, safest practice.
I'm just checking on you. Let me check your license real quick, okay?
It's in my back.
Okay, do you have the paperwork for the car? Alright, you can come back here and get your license, okay? You guys have yours? Or your ID?
Okay, I gotta talk about this. Significant amount of time where this driver steps out of the vehicle, has this big jacket on, not padded, it's digging inside of a bag of a rear of a vehicle. Troopers focuses on the two other occupants of the vehicle. It is not the safest practice when you're conducting this type of investigation. We don't know who we're dealing with. And granted, he looks like he's in great shape. I'm sure he trained. However, I gotta call it like I see it. Letting a person dig inside of a bag and having two other people that we have our focus on, not the safest practice.
Is your driver back
can't switch right now.
Okay. Who's the guy in the back? The guy right here. Who's that?
Family member, that's all.
Okay.
That's fine.
What hotel are y'all staying in up there?
No idea.
No idea. Like the arrangements?
Just as I go.
Okay. How long are y'all staying up there?
Through Monday, I believe.
Okay. That's a long trip, huh?
Yeah, it's a long trip.
No weapons on you or anything? Okay. Why don't you stand right back here? I'll let you stand here. He's an officer also, okay?
So the trooper says, "Do no weapons on you and no pat down." There's no such thing as an effective verbal pat down. The trooper pointed to someone that was standing back and said that he's an officer right there, so I'm going to try to figure out who this person is over here. But a verbal pat down is no such thing. Half of what you see, none of what you hear.
Hi, sir. Speak English? A little bit. I don't know. Okay. 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 For cuánto tiempo? ¿Quedar en un hotel o cómo? Okay. Es él. Está manejando. Pero no tiene
So this is really interesting, okay? So this I'm going to call a superpower because the trooper, he speaks Spanish and he's conversing with the two occupants in the vehicle, the front passenger and rear passenger in Spanish. The superpower is not that he can speak Spanish. The superpower is that he doesn't look like he can speak Spanish and he can speak Spanish. And this is a great tool if you can do that. I'll tell you why, because I speak more than one language and people don't know what languages I speak. And many times I've had persons, specifically one situation where two suspects were talking in front of each other and I asked the name in English. The guy said in Spanish, dile cualquier cosa, telling his friend to tell me, that means tell him whatever, because he didn't think that I would understand. When I worked in Vegas, there are a lot of officers who are LDS and a lot of LDS officers, Church of Latter-day Saints, they go on missions and they learn other languages and a lot of them don't look like they speak the language. And it's a great tool because they listen to what suspects are saying a lot of times and all of a sudden they'll break out in the native tongue. So it's great that this trooper speaks Spanish and he's going to hopefully elicit some good information. But letting them know you can speak the language isn't necessarily the best option to just jump right into. But we'll see how this plays out. I'm excited to see.
Okay. Okay, la teniste un carro en California cuando tú vives en Arizona. Fui a rentar el carro. Mi carro dice, mi carro no amor. Ahora. Mi carro. Okay. No tiene nada mala, no pistola, no revisar la cámara también.
The trooper was confirming if the stories matched, if what he asked the driver matched what the passengers inside the vehicle said, and then ultimately he asked for consent to search the vehicle, and now he's asking them to step out. One important point, if you do speak another language, is that you are fluent enough to say what you have to say for a person to be understood. If your Spanish is, or whatever language it is that you speak is basic or moderate, getting a consent to search is really important that you know exactly what to say to make sure that it meets the standard, because you have to know that getting the consent is going to be challenged in court. It is essential that you know how to ask consent and that you know how to read Miranda, and it's ideal if you read that off of a card, so there are no challenges, as it will get challenged in court. This is one of the easiest things to challenge. I want to talk about this hat down situation here. If you're going to extract people from a vehicle, and it's more than one at a time, because it's much easier to control one person than it is to control two people. And if you're going to do the pat down, you must make it an effective pat down where we pat down the entire body, especially the small of the back where a lot of people conceal firearms. And third point, very important point when it comes to pat down, I think that this trooper is a phenomenal investigator, and I know that his mind at this point is about this investigation because he's on it. There's something going on. But in this paperwork that he has in his hand is crucial to his investigation, but it's not effective to hold on to things while you're conducting a pat down because you could potentially miss things. Or if it goes south and you start to tussle with the person, that could potentially become a hindrance to your ability to perform a defensive tactic. These are merely constructive criticisms. I get emails all the time from aspiring officers or people who use these in briefing. I'm going to give the best practices that I believe will keep officers safe. I want you to take note of the front passenger and rear passenger where they are, and they're engaged in some type of conversation. You can only imagine what that conversation is as this starts to escalate, and could they be potentially formulating a plan?
I'll let you survive. Just stand up there with them. In the future, don't be the only guy without a license and be driving the car. I know something. Stand up there with them, okay? You don't stand up there with them.
Okay, so the person with the blue shirt and the khakis, you also refer to him as an officer. He appears to me to be a ride-along. A ride-along is a person who gets to ride with an officer for a shift and learn about the department and kind of see what policing is about. Now, this person could be an officer. Officers from other departments ride with other departments on occasion, but they don't normally carry their tools or their weapons because they're not officially on duty to perform functions. And it doesn't look like he has tools on. So it's interesting that this person is being utilized in this form. And again, I don't know all the details. This happened quite some time ago, but it just definitely appears to be a ride-along person, but the officer referred to him as an officer, and now he's tasked with watching these suspects. Judging by the degree of the search, getting all underneath the vehicle, it's definite that he thinks something else is going on here. And his investigation, I mean, these guys are really, really good investigators. Every time I watch, I love the diligence that they go to in investigating these things.
Can you run down here?
At this point, the trooper has just called for an additional unit, and I'm wondering how long it will take for them to get there, because I know sometimes it takes long for the units to get there, and the trooper's all the way inside the vehicle.
73. It's not an emergency, but I've got a load. I've got 3 people here, though, so I need to come over to them. Come on, I've got me and Hayden here. No weapons? Like an old school phone there. Who's that? I'm gonna do some weight for talking, right? Same kind of phone? What is it? What kind of phone is that? Okay, good. Go. Go this one. Brandon, Goldman. I'm gonna put your name in there. No, how long ago?
So if you look at that little small screen, it looks like the time is off. The person that's in the backseat is the person that's being placed in the backseat. So it seems like that smaller cam is on a different time frame than the other cam. And a couple of points I want to talk about as far as how this was conducted. If you know you're going to place handcuffs on a person, why not place the handcuffs on them and then conduct the search? Because if they decide to get froggy, or if you're about to find something, that's when they're going to get froggy, or when they're going to potentially attack. So if you're going to place them in handcuffs and you know you're going to place them in handcuffs, click, then you do whatever it is that you have to do. He may have his reasons for doing it. I'm sharing this because there was another way of doing it that could be potentially safer, and the way that I did it because I felt it was much safer to already have them handcuffed. The other thing that I want to mention is the trooper was talking about the fact that the person had 2 phones, and this is very curious and definitely leads to more of the investigation towards this being a possible situation, because mules often carry 2 phones, a burner phone and a front range, or they both can be burner phones that they just toss. So it's really good. Again, the investigation stuff is super duper high level. The positioning of this search pat down thing that he did and then handcuffing. He's facing his vehicle, safer practice. Have the trooper facing towards where the other subjects are while he's discussing this, so he can watch the person he's talking to and over that person's shoulder at the 2 subjects who are watching all of this go on in case they decide to attack the person that is standing next to them. If the trooper just turns around and is looking the other way with the subject in between, he can have a vision of the subject and the other 2 occupants of the vehicle as well. Much safer practice.
Everything on? Yeah. Y'all are under arrest.
Maine may be a small state, but we face big challenges, and Senator Susan Collins delivers solutions. When our veterans were left out in the cold, Susan Collins secured $3.6 million to help end veteran homelessness. And Collins co-sponsored the bill to protect military spouses' survivor benefits and provide rural veterans access to VA facilities. With her dedication, Susan Collins secures victories time and again for our veterans. Tell Senator Susan Collins to keep championing solutions for Maine's veterans.
Hey! Guess what? Learning is no longer in one set place or on one set pace.
You need parts? We got parts. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What happens when you want more from your bank? Well, you go to a credit union.
For the best stuff. Walk in behind my car. Just stand there. Set up here in a minute. Right here. Yeah, it's bad. Listen, you understand the other rights remain silent. Anything you say can't be used against you in court. You cannot afford to hire somebody. You can decide any time to exercise your rights. Make any statements. You understand your rights? Do you understand your rights? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Well, I'm trying to get you unconfused. Do you understand what I just told you? You're right. Wait, do you want me to repeat anything? I need to know what's going on. I would like to tell you that. I'm trying to get you through the first part of what I need to tell you, though. Do you understand what I just told you? Yes. Okay. The problem for you is that you're driving a car that has a whole bunch of in the car. Now, the second part of that is, man, I would like to help you. If you would like to help me. Do you want to help? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Would you like to help? What? Help by telling the truth, and maybe we get the bad guys on the other side of this instead of just you three. Y'all are what's called muting. You're taking the... I have no idea. I have no idea. Yes, you did. Anyways. They told me if I could drive. That's what I did. How much were they paying you to drive? The road trip? I know. How much were they paying you for the road trip? It was more like a favor. No, how much were they paying you? They were not paying nothing. Be honest with me, man. They were not paying me nothing. Okay. Okay. You understand that a lot of prison time can come with having a lot of in the car, right? You understand that? I'm talking about the spare tire. I don't know anything about it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm trying to help you. I don't know anything about it. You do. I don't even know what's going on in this car. You do. I picked up in a group. Who picked you up? Heriberto? The guy that rented the car? Where's the other guy from? Is he from Mexico? Yeah. Just like here. Okay. Is the other guy actually from Mexico? Look at me. Do you even know him?
This is really interesting to watch because this is a mule type situation in real time, and watching and listening to the interaction with the trooper who's done this many, many times, very, very interesting and a lot of stuff to learn.
You do know him? What's the other guy's name? I'm listening. Hey, do you even know this guy in the back? You don't know him, do you? It's so much easier to be honest than try to. You can see my wrist is red. Man, that's not loose at all. Or that's not You gotta keep your hand, the back of your hand facing the other back of the hand. Just like that, okay? No, back of the hand. If you keep it like that, it's fine. Okay? If you could give me $1 million for your answer, I have no clue. Where are you taking it? Are you actually going to New York to take it up there? Probably. I have no clue.
The driver of the car said if you gave me $1 million, I wouldn't be able to tell you. That very well may be true. A lot of these mules, they don't have a lot of information except where they're picking up the car and where they have to take it to. The actual dealers don't want to give them too much information. They don't want the stuff stolen. They don't want them speaking to the police about it. So a lot of times they don't know a lot of the information that is essential for an investigation to go forward.
Where are you supposed to be going? You know that. I'm driving. I'm a driver. Where did they tell you to drive? Here, right there, get off. The guy in the front is telling you the directions. If I told you we try to talk to the prosecutor about helping you out, would you be willing to cooperate and tell the whole truth? I could talk to the prosecutor for you.
I want to make it clear, I have no clue what was in this. No clue whatsoever. It's like if your buddy picks you up, hey, alright, can you take me, come with me?
Yes, this guy's not your buddy. He's from Arizona.
I'm just saying.
The other guy's from Mexico. How's that your buddy? And you're like 5 states away from California. He didn't just ask you to go for a ride with him. Okay, well, I mean, you knew something was going on. You may not know all the details. You don't know the details. You know something's going on, though. That's why I'm asking you. Well, I'm not asking you for every little detail, okay? I'm just asking you to tell me the truth so I can vouch for you. Alright? So how did this start? He just called you and asked you if you take a trip with him and you just didn't try to ask any questions? Is that right? Okay. I mean, you knew something was up. You just didn't want to ask questions, right?
I knew something was up. Like,
you knew he was doing something he shouldn't be doing. You just want to ask him. Come on, man. He called you from St. Louis there and all that and said, will you come take me somewhere? He didn't even have a license. So you thought that was a good idea to drive across country without a license? You know, I mean, you gotta make sense, man, okay? You knew something was up. It's okay if you don't know every detail. I'm just asking you to be honest with me. Y'all gotta be back in a few days. You obviously knew something was up. My guess is you're not going all the way to New York. I'd love to know where you're actually going.
I don't even know if it's, I'm out from there. I don't know, you know, stop, go, left, right.
When I pulled you over, did he tell you to say, hey, we're going to New York for my son? Or when did he tell you that?
That was
what he told you before. Okay, when did he tell you to say that, though? When y'all started, did he tell you when you get pulled over, if you get pulled over, just say you're going to New York to visit my son? Huh? Oh, yeah. He's in my car. He can't hear you. The other guy's way back there. Is that what he said?
I mean, that was
pretty much agreed to.
It's been, I don't even know the fucking day.
It's Thursday. So he told you yesterday if y'all were to get pulled over, just say we're going to New York to visit my son.
That was one, but then I heard also, Little Rock or whatever.
Right. So I don't know. Just Little Rock. We can help you a lot for that.
There was like a little, just different cities that were brought up. And, okay. The less I knew, the better.
Well, I agree, but you know you weren't going to New York to visit his son. Y'all were up to something.
That's the story. No, I mean, to some degree, that's what he said.
Right. But you knew that wasn't the case, or you were worried about Little Rock or whatever. It's all right, man. 24, whenever you show up here in front, please.
So just so you are aware, the configuration is the driver, the one that speaks good English, is in the front of the suspect vehicle, and the hood is up out of earshot of the front passenger who's in the backseat and the other passenger who is behind the patrol vehicle. So that's the configuration of how they're standing right now. And while we can hear everything the trooper's asking, he's out of earshot of the other two people.
4 to 24. When you show up, pull up in front, please.
He asked for a backup at 9:28 off of the dash cam, and now we're at 9:45. Still doesn't have the backup unit to him yet, so a significant amount of time passed before he still even has another unit. And he wasn't asking for him to come in an emergency manner, but it shows the distances.
The guy in the front, know the guy in the front, are they buddies? Did he bring him with him? You don't really know the guy in the back? I mean, you don't know that guy, do you? Not really? Okay. I mean, that's just be honest with me. I need to know how to help you, and I can't if you don't tell me that.
I don't know if I'm going to get help, but I'm going to get fucked over, you know?
Just relax, okay?
How is it going to benefit me or you guys mostly?
That's what I told you. We would like to get the people that it's going to, that are putting on the street, especially if that's in our backyard, Little Rock, or surrounding city. That's my backyard. So if you don't think that I would do everything in my power to help you by getting that off the street and getting those people that are waiting for this to put it on the street, then I don't know what to tell you. That's all I can tell you is I promise that I will do everything I can. I will call the prosecuting attorneys and ask them I beg them to help you, and that has always worked, as long as you do what you can do. All right, now if you lie to me and you don't do what you're supposed to do, then yeah, you're not going to get any help. But if you can do what we're talking about and help us get those people, then why would we not help you? We love that. The prosecuting attorney, it's his backyard too. So that's obviously what we love to do. I'm going to tell you, it looks like.
I don't know if they had a.
This is fucking. Do you think it's going to Little Rock, or do you think it's going somewhere else? Just, I mean, what's your gut feeling? Are him? Yes. Okay, then just put that guy in your car and then Ryan gets here.
So it looks like at 9:48 and 11 seconds, the first uniform has arrived. So that's how long it took for his backup to get there, which again is quite some time. He wasn't rolling code, lights and siren to get to him, but that's how long sometimes I guess it takes, maybe even longer for some of these guys.
Put him in his car, I'm gonna get his bottle of water. Hey, Brian, I haven't even been able to make a phone call. I'm gonna have to say it forever. I'm gonna go make a phone call and get DTF on that way. I'm spare tire. Hey, man. Hey, y'all busy? Did y'all come to the 73 and pick up a rental car that's got a load in the spare tire? I think it's going to be maybe going to Arkansas. So I got to call. Yeah, I got three folks with me though, so I don't. Anyways, yeah, we'll be here. Thank you. Hey, does your guy speak good English? I didn't talk to him very much. Okay, will you pull up this so I can talk to him, please? That guy in my car does speak good English. He speaks perfect. That's why I was talking to him. This guy doesn't speak very good. That's sense, man. He drives? No, yeah, he rented it. But that guy was driving with no license. Hey, you speak English okay? You don't speak English much? Poquito. Alright. I mean, I can feel the bundles under there, and then the tire doesn't have any air in it, so I just cut into the tire, I can see him, but I can't tell, probably. No, maybe. White fluid all over my, it's like milk. Probably soap, but liquid soap or something, but I had a hard rig, like 20 kilos, and I just washed it off. Look at that. Oh, that's weird.
I think he got something all over his hands. He thinks it's some type of soap or something. Who knows what it is? Latex gloves. I always keep a pair in my pocket, and I'm sure that he probably has some too, but again, it's his stop. Safest practice, having some latex gloves on or some type of glove on, because you can cut your hand on the bottom of these vehicles. Sometimes they're booby trapped. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that can go on.
See that? Probably liquid soap, I'm guessing, but not 100%. Yeah. Right here.
I can't tell exactly what that is that other trooper has. Sometimes they use density meters or density readers to see if there's anything in between. There should be space in certain areas. If someone who knows for sure what it is, I'm not saying that I do, but I think that that's what that is. And in the comment section, please chime in about what that trooper is utilizing right there. But I know that there are devices like that that you can tell what the density or space that's inside of a vehicle where it's supposed to be empty or where there's supposed to be density. You can read that.
Okay. But give me your word as a man. You do the most you can for me. I'll do the most I can to help you. You gotta turn the cover around. I'm gonna take out the thing. I'm fucking hot.
Joe Baldacci, the hand-picked yes man of Dark Money DC. He's bankrolled by DC and beholden to them, not us. The truth? Joe Baldacci is the only...
I got an open mind, like a golden child. You try to go for points, I try to go for style. I do my city pride, I try to keep it wild. Ichiban, wicked one, Okinawa live. I drink Guinnesses and go to dinner with my nemesis. Have a couple laughs while they plot how to finish this. Interested on how to get up on a wizard list. Senseless, you sense I'm the sensei apprentices. I'm the salt up in the cut. Huh? Who you trying to play but us? Huh? Like a DJ turning stuff. Who you trying to fool? We all know that shit's unplugged. Yeah.
Fucking Henderson, catch me in the mood. I ain't too cool for wrecking shit. Stoners on the loose, call that shit a hippie fit. And we just getting going. It's just my starter kit. I'm on a good one, real fucking good one. I'm feeling brand new. Yeah, I'm talking redone. I'm talking about me, talking about the real one. I'm out with Jenny, tossing rocks at the building. Holly Stone, all that shit. So fly, call me pilot. MCs get a tourniquet. Body bag that murder it. This evidence is evident. We stampeding elephants. We crash shots. I'm king bitch. I bitch it's off like middlemen.
Here's a mouthful of cockney. Said you want a ring and you think that I'll drop me just for some pussy that'll bust out a box spring. All of the time that you tried to off me, the tables are turned and now the music is offbeat. You wanted me back so you can kiss me softly. I'd rather jack off in a sock with some hot tea. I'm over and out, I like a walkie-talkie. I'm leaving now, bitch. Try to stop me.
Ladner knows what it means to fight a war. When Graham got home, he struggled, like a lot of us. The same politicians who sent him to fight that war are using it against him and doing everything they can to stop Graham Ladner.
Warfighter never quit. Fueled by an unwavering love of country and the men beside them, they pushed forward. They chose to face death rather than surrender or quit. And as they fought, inch by bloody inch, the Atlantic Wall crumbled. They were, indeed, the greatest generation. Farm boys from the heartland and city dwellers from the coasts, teachers and shopkeepers. The Americans buried here are our very best. Full stop. War reveals the true character of a nation and her men. The courage of the men who stormed these beaches is the courage that defines the United States of America. May it always, may we earn it. And remember what they did here. The souls here earned it. And we are blessed to have a number of such warriors in our presence again today. They are a living embodiment of the warrior ethos we today revive at the Department of War. To the veterans here today who served in France and around the globe, gentlemen, we love you. We owe you a debt of gratitude we can never repay. A grateful nation honors your service and your historic bravery. June 6th, 1944, turned the tide of history. Extraordinary Americans, allied courage, meticulous planning, the blood of our heroes, the Axis powers were doomed, the world saved. Without Operation Overlord, we would not have the free world we know today. Together with our allies, America saved Western civilization. This day, an annual reminder of the heavy cost of freedom, but also a reminder as we look out at those crosses of what it takes. And we ask ourselves, again, do we have it? Today, as we face an increasingly complex threat environment, we apply the lessons from 82 years ago learned on these beaches. Strong allies, each fully committed to doing their part, win wars. The men buried here fought in a warfighting alliance where every partner brought its full measure of industry, courage, and sacrifice. Not empty slogans, not lavish summits, not communiques. Real allies doing real things, taking real losses for a shared cause worth fighting and dying for. Each nation pulled its weight. Each nation bled. America will lead, and we must. But capable allies must be right there with us, shoulder to shoulder, in the breach, when it matters. In the years since these beaches, much of the West, in some places, in some quarters, and in some capitals, grew comfortable. We forgot that freedom is not free. We forgot that peace is not wished into being. It is bought with purpose, with honor, and with strength. The men who landed on these beaches knew this. The question we ask ourselves is, do we?
Extra absorbent, even
and teachers and loggers who asked for little but have received even less. This is Graham Plattner's Maine. This is Graham Plattner's Road, a winding path of service, of struggle, of
responsibility and negligence. That's not all. Shaw worked for a union-busting firm that sides with
dignity for workers, the freedom of joy for families at last. It is no longer just a whisper, but a voice with a demand.
It's Mainers first, in Maine, always. I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
Introducing Keurig's first coffee ever, crafted with warm embraces and caramel and spice. Unleashed by 30% more coffee in every pod.
The Honorable...
Oh yeah.
Like Trump, but don't let it warp their minds or their ability to speak aloud among grown-ups or The View. But the Schiffs and De Niros of the world are emotionally damaged by politics to a point where they can't even assess their own emotions. Being an actor is tough, for how does one handle real life without a script? Not equipped to think analytically, you're left powerless when observing your own predictions about life turn out wrong. It's not supposed to be this way, De Niro thinks. Only the cool guys get to win. Sorry, Bob. That's only in the movies, but at least you'll always have...
There's a very specific sound a legend makes when he forgets he's a legend. It's not silence, it's not grace. It's a microphone being gripped too tightly by a man who can't remember why the room went quiet. That sound has a name now. That name is Robert De Niro. And on one unremarkable evening, under studio lights that have witnessed 1,000 smaller collapses, Greg Gutfeld didn't walk onto that stage to argue. He walked on to perform an autopsy. No raised voice, no theatrics, just a smirk sharpened over years of watching Hollywood self-destruct in real time. And the moment he opened his mouth, every viewer at home felt the same chill. This wasn't going to be a debate. This was going to be a dismantling broadcast in 4K.
For De Niro graced the knitting circle in hell known as The View, where he tried to link random thoughts into a sentence. Joy was there to wind him up, since he's played some of the most unredeemable characters.
You have played some of the most really unredeemable characters. Travis Bickle was a psychopathic taxi driver. Jake LaMotta, who used to beat his wife, and he was in the Raging Bull. Is Trump worse than they are?
To me, he is. He has no understanding that I can see of the outside world.
Rewind 30 years. Picture the man who made entire generations afraid of mirrors. The whisper that could empty a room. The stare that didn't need dialogue. That De Niro is gone. Not retired. Not resting. Gone. In his place stands something stranger. A man who treats every red carpet like a campaign trail. And every interview like an exorcism. And here's the part nobody wants to admit out loud. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly, painfully, publicly. One unhinged rant at a time, one award show meltdown at a time. Until somewhere between the 18th F-bomb and the 42nd Trump reference, the icon evaporated and what remained was just a very loud man in a very expensive suit, yelling at clouds shaped like 2016.
De Niro kind of represents Hollywood in the sense that they realize that they're losing influence with the public. And that's what's generating the emotional response. They've never felt less important.
It just, doesn't it feel like 2016 again? Like,
yeah.
We lived through that. Did they forget?
Yeah.
It almost feels like they forgot that. And remember, just this week we had Kamala Harris dropping the F-bomb at a group.
Here's what makes Gutfeld terrifying, and I mean genuinely terrifying to anyone on the receiving end. He doesn't yell, he doesn't lecture, he doesn't even raise his voice above conversational. He just waits. He lets you finish your sentence. He lets you commit to your hill, and then, with the patience of a chess grandmaster who's already seen the next 11 moves, he drops a single line that detonates the entire conversation. That's what happened that night. De Niro wasn't roasted. He was cataloged, filed away, pinned to a corkboard like a butterfly that forgot it could fly. And the internet, the internet was paying attention. By morning, clips were everywhere. By noon, the timeline had a new hobby. By sunset, De Niro got Gutfelded was trending in 3 countries.
Robert De Niro's 29-year-old child, Aaron, has come out as transgender. When the press asked her for comment, she said, "You talking to they, them?" Last night, an elderly, confused man went missing in New York. Luckily, a band of self-satisfied elitists found him babbling on the street, threw some pants on him, gave him a stage.
But that wasn't even the strangest part, because to truly understand the collapse, you have to look at the receipts. And by receipts, I mean the filmography. Somewhere between The Godfather Part 2 and whatever direct-to-streaming fever dream he signed onto last Tuesday, something broke. The same man who chiseled Jake LaMotta into the marvel of cinema history later agreed to a movie called Dirty Grandpa.
Someone give me this hope. Pop in the floor with a break down the road, rock the performance, top of the lawn to ya. Awkwardly over the top of the score like pins in the corner, I'll go to war for ya. These crazy lights, these hazy nights, I'm Franco, I got me yelling at the skylight. Yelling at the sky, singing. Rolling Franco, I see it. Yelling at the sky, singing. Clear the bone, no stale smoke. Lungs open like a ship sail. Mutiny when you double choke. My boot hits like a drum kick. No 2 shits, do I give a fuck? My crew sticks like a fat bitch. She's hungry, fool, get eaten up.
Auditioned him for Robert De Niro, political philosopher, Robert De Niro, cultural watchdog, Robert De Niro, self-appointed sheriff of a town that didn't elect him. Every microphone.
In my zone, it's sucker free. And you're that bitch it sucks to be. When the doctor's in, it's about y'all. Remember this, there's no house call. My door's open with the nurse waiting. Sexy bitch bringing my first patient. Heart racing, paper chasing. I'm Bruce Wayne and your Dick Grayson. Yelling at the sky, singing. Rolling Franco, I see it. Yelling at the sky, singing. Yelling at the sky, singing.
Gossip Central.
Everyone just catch the ball back.
And see how them catering to such childish things, and people have to actually do these kind of things. It takes a lot of time to shuffle through all that and then make a whole channel dedicated to, and then having specific clips that are relevant and showing of certain things. Yeah, I mean, that takes a lot of time and work. You don't have to really do that. You gotta fill that space with something.
I was there when I heard a showman shouting underneath the flare. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are.
Since he's played some of the most unredeemable characters.
Go
farther in the all-new Jeep Cherokee Hybrid with over.
Give 'em a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. There stands me wife, the idol of me life, singing roly bowl a ball, a penny a pitch. Singing roly bowl a ball, a penny a pitch. Singing roly bowl a ball, a penny a pitch. Roly bowl a ball, singing roly bowl a ball, a penny a pitch.
He has no understanding that I can see of the outside world.
Rewind 30 years. Picture the man who made entire generations afraid of mirrors. The whisper that could empty a room. The stare that didn't need dialogue. That De Niro is gone. Not retired. Not resting. Gone. In his place stands something stranger. A man who treats every red carpet like a campaign trail. And every interview like an exorcism. And here's the part nobody wants to admit out loud. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly, painfully, publicly. One unhinged rant at a time, one award show meltdown at a time, until somewhere between the 18th F-bomb and the 42nd Trump reference, the icon evaporated and what remained was just a very loud man in a very expensive suit, yelling at clouds shaped like 2016.
De Niro kind of represents Hollywood in the sense that they realize that they're losing influence with the public, and that's what's generating the emotional response. They've never felt less important.
It just doesn't feel like 2016 again. Like we lived through that. Did they forget?
Yeah.
It almost feels like they forgot that. Remember, just this week we had Kamala Harris dropping the F-bomb at a group.
Here's what makes Gutfeld terrifying, and I mean genuinely terrifying to anyone on the receiving end. He doesn't yell, he doesn't lecture, he doesn't even raise his voice above conversational. He just waits. He lets you finish your sentence. He lets you commit to your hill, and then, with the patience of a chess grandmaster who's already seen the next 11 moves, he drops a single line that detonates the entire conversation. That's what happened that night. De Niro wasn't roasted. He was cataloged, filed away, pinned to a corkboard like a butterfly that forgot it could fly. And the internet, the internet was paying attention. By morning, clips were everywhere. By noon, the timeline had a new hobby. By sunset, De Niro got Gutfelded was trending in 3 countries.
Robert De Niro's 29-year-old child, Aaron, has come out as transgender. When the press asked her for comment, she said, "You talking to they, them?" Last night, an elderly, confused...
But people fought to have that 72-hour waiting period, so background checks and everything. Yeah, I think it's just protocol. I mean, why would you ever need a gun immediately? You can't wait 72 hours for the proper background checks. I mean, you should appreciate that as a gun owner. Right? Right, because there are some people that want to just be able to go in and buy the gun and not have to wait. Why should I have to wait? I want to buy a new hunting rifle. We gotta get away. Right, so I mean, where and how... Right, now they say if you're already a licensed gun owner, you're all up to date. You do the training courses however many times a year, sometimes once a year, twice a year. It depends, right? Different Some do it extra, and it looks good on your card there. Right, so if someone, they're a licensed gun owner, they've had gun for years, sport, hunting, occupation, whatever it is, concealed weapon, like to have it for personal protection, anything. Right, so if they're licensed, clean, right, there's no red flags in the system right now that there's any reason as to why they should not be allowed to purchase a firearm. Yeah, because a licensed owner that's been licensed for years can all of a sudden, just like that, not be allowed to purchase a firearm for whatever infraction, and you don't know that. So how are you going to know that if they're not able to do the proper sweeps that people fought to have? I'm confused. Can somebody explain this to me? I think it's good. Considering it is quite a deadly weapon, to have a car and to be able to drive a car, which could be used as a deadly weapon. And you have to have a license. Every so often you have to get re-licensed. They check your eyes. Can you see these letters? I know in the past, sometimes people would be like, oh, Gramps, we can't take his license. Just check the box for him. He's fine. We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, you can't get away with that stuff anymore. I used to do it all the time. I know. I know, it's like, what is it, all these laws? I remember being a teenager, back working at Kmart. I used to work in the electronics and sporting goods section. I liked to make the keys. But they sold hunting rifles and stuff there too. And I had to make a call. If someone wanted to buy a weapon, I had to make a call. They would say yay or nay. It wasn't 72 hours, it was like 72 seconds, but that was back in the 90s. In fact, Kmart's not even there anymore. They tore it down. Isn't that weird? It's all gone. Oh, frickin' VIP and a Popeyes off to the side there where the smoke shop was. And Friendly's. Yeah, that too. So weird, isn't it? It's just an empty parking lot. They said they're going to be putting like an 8-story apartment building or something in there. It's going to be a big project, I hear, actually. So weird. I used to work at that Wendy's too. Wendy's is still there. Yeah, over on the Western Avenue here in Augusta. The Wendy's right across from, what's the name of that place? U-Haul. I worked at Kmart and Wendy's at the same time. Well, obviously I could be in 2 places at once. I did morning and night shift. Yeah, I used to like doing that. That would have been, let's see. God, gosh. He would have been 98, 99. Now, it was one of the last years, too, that the Auburn Mall was a cool place to go. Or at least a decent, you know? They had Papa John's pizza. Have you been there lately? We went there a few years back. I know. Mom was like, what the hell? Dude, the place is cracking. It's falling apart. They still got that same cool sign. A lot of the stores are like caged up. They're not even stores. They're just storing stuff. Some had a bunch of arcade games in them. What the hell happened? Papa John's, the pizza place, is gone. I used to like go in there every year for school shopping. We'd go to Papa John's Pizza. Yeah, that was late 90s. That was some of the last times it was fun to go. We used to go there for Christmas shopping. It was great. No, it's horrible now. It's turned into like a... It feels like it's the back. It's like the back of an Italian restaurant. With a lot of the idiot fucking dishwashers are playing fucking craps on a cardboard box, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? You're pissing off the neighbors. Pissing off the neighbors. What's that? You know, we got one of those chow mein meals from Hannaford. We're gonna try that. Those look pretty good. Do you like to eat it hot or cold? I haven't had it yet. I got it a couple days ago. It's in the fridge. It's called chow mein. M-A-I-N-E. Get it? Chow mein. Chow. Chow mein. Are you saying goodbye or hello? Why are you saying goodbye? It's a company from Massachusetts. They send it on up here. That looks good. Have you tried them? Are they good? I haven't tried them yet. I'll let you know. I'll give you my rating on it.
I'm Grant Platter, and I approve this message.
What's your rating? 10 plus? Ooh, good. It looks like a 10 plus kind of meal. That's why I got it. I was like, this looks yummy. And chow mein, I love the name. That's great. How creative. I'm coloring. What are you doing? Going to music class. We're gonna probably do reading. Yeah, no, we haven't been doing as much reading as we'd like to. Not nearly. Close. Not nearly as close to as much as we'd like to.
Kevin, come on over here and tell them what time it is. Okay. Oh, that's nice, Kevin. Alright, now
Get out of here. I got this feeling inside. Can't find no balance in my mind. I must be missing the point. I need a coffee and a joint. I got this feeling inside. Can't find no balance in my mind. I must be missing the point. I need a coffee and a joint. Coffee and a joint. Coffee and a joint. Yeah. Coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint. Coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint. Coffee in the joint, come on, baby. Yo, higher than an F-16 in Walgreens. Trying to find some eye drops at the bottom of Listerine. Well, I'm Mr. Clean when I step on the scene. But yo, how did I get here? And what does this all mean? The last thing I remember was way back in September. Johnny had a doobie, it was movie full of pleasure. But I probably didn't measure the amount I should have taken. Now I'm standing on the feeling, and this feeling got me shaking. Yo, I get the bacon with my bed and crock a baby. We dishing out delectables, yeah, they tasty, so yeah.